kicking it down. Let's see if we can turn my damn microphone on.
Oh, there we go. I'm on. Hello, everybody. Hello. And as you hear, there's more voices in the room this time because we have guests. We have a band, my first band, District 22, here tonight on A Piece of Metal. If you cats could sound off and say your names and what position you play within your organization.
All right, well, my name is Seamus, and I'm the bass player / vocalist, and we've got two other people here.
We got Andrew here, Andrew McNichols on.
Why are you announcing me? I'm fully capable of telling people what my name is.
You're the next one in the row.
Well, shut up, dude. All right, I'm Andrew, and I'm the vocalist. And I'm going to start announcing TJ because he was rude.
I'm TJ. I'm the rhythm guitarist in District 22.
So we got guitar, bass, and drums. I love the three-piece. The main ingredients: meat, potatoes, and
guitar, bass, and
soda.
Singer.
Guitar, bass, and singer.
Guitar, bass, and singer.
Fuck it up already, dude.
Our drummer's only 17. He couldn't come out to play tonight.
Oh, that's right.
He's got a
Damn
curfew. He's got a
curfew.
curfew.
Mommy and Daddy wanted him home.
I don't think your mic's on.
It's not on?
Click on.
What do you mean?
That or turn it up.
Whoever was in here last, they turned off all the microphones and screwed us.
Well,
now.
is it on? Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome.
Okay. Well,
Hey.
speaking to it again.
Hello.
Tap it.
I can
Because
hear it.
okay, there we go. Oh yeah. Damn thing's
Good
on.
morning.
All right, we're rocking A Piece of Metal here. We got these cats in here with us, and just to start off,
Where are you from?
We are from Chicago, Illinois.
South side.
Chicago.
South side. I don't know if any of you guys heard of Mount Greenwood. It's on the far south side of Chicago.
It's pretty far.
Mount Greenwood represent. Yeah, we're all from that area. Actually, that's where the name comes from. Is because that area of Mount Greenwood and Beverly is the 22nd Police District.
Oh,
So, District 22.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Because if we get arrested, that's where they take us.
Better that than Cook County.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Killer. Potter's Field is better than Cook County, and not because I know by experience or nothing. I just heard some bad things. What got you cats together?
Well, we've all known each other for a pretty long time.
Right.
Me, TJ, and Andrew here. We were good friends. Been good friends for like 4 years. I've known TJ for most of my life.
Our lead guitarist Ed went to grammar school with me and Seamus
Yeah,
here.
we've known him for like 12 years, and then
That's cool.
the drummer, it was a fluke. We had hung out with him one night, and then 2 years later, we through a mutual friend. He said, "Hey, we got a drummer for you." Tried him out, and he was the piece of the band that was missing.
It's always
Missing
those
link.
good connections that bring the piece together. So, what kind of metal you cats do?
Well, we have very different ranges in terms of who is influenced by what. Some of us are really into metal. Andrew here. He loves his classical music.
I do. I really
Hey,
do.
I'm a symphony fan myself.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Beethoven, Tchaikovsky, Bach.
I love it when it combines with a metal band. Then you got black metal. That's
You got German opera metal.
Yeah.
I personally was real into punk when I first started playing, so that's a big influence of mine. And it's all kind of a clusterfuck together
Yeah.
to make a unique sound. We call it heavy alternative because it's not really metal, but it's definitely heavy and it's different. It's not really much like anything you really hear these days.
Which is actually a good thing because I'm tired of the same redundant, warmed over BS.
All right.
I think everybody is.
yeah.
How would you compare your sound to somebody else?
The best thing we've come up with so far is a combination between Avenged Sevenfold and Incubus.
Yeah.
Hey.
That sounds
like that.
really good.
Yeah.
And your guys' writing is different too, isn't it? Doesn't Andrew? He actually composes.
Yeah,
some of the
yeah,
music,
Andrew
rather than
writes
just writing something.
Andrew writes most of the music, and like I said, he's extremely influenced by
By classical music. So, I just sit down and kind of write stuff based on just straight music theory, and then give them tablature and let them learn it.
Yeah.
Cool. What classical composers influence you that you like?
Well, I like. I kind of stay away from Mozart and Beethoven, the stereotypical,
Hey man, the Beethoven, that Mozart guy, yeah, whatever. But Beethoven, I mean,
Yeah, well, yeah, he was a. I don't know.
He was the Metallica.
I don't know if I'm talking about music
Right.
history, you know.
For a deaf guy?
Well, he wasn't deaf for a majority of his life.
That's true.
Right, but
Didn't
for
go-
what he composed when he was deaf.
Yeah, he
it's
actually
very
got better
fucking
when he went
amazing.
deaf. Actually,
Right.
I don't know. I mean, like I listen to a lot of Debussy,
Okay.
a lot of Respighi, Stravinsky, stuff like that. Late like romantic period kind of stuff.
Okay, that's cool. That's a lot of your death and black metal influences.
Right. Yeah. It's that sort of.
Speaking of mine. Oh, okay. Yeah,
I
that's
thought that was a
what.
different hand gesture.
I was like,
I'm not gonna lie. I was like, what is
What the hell?
Get closer to the mic. He was giving me that over in the corner. I was like, yeah.
Made me a little nervous there. Okay, how the hell do I respond to this? Joe is putting both fists to the mouth there, and it's like, oh, the microphone. He wants me to get closer to the mic. Whew, thank God. That's what he
He
means.
wants you, Tony. He wants you.
Oh my God! I was about to say, dude, I ain't got the 20 this weekend.
I tried to pay him $1 and it was for doing nothing. He
Oh,
didn't want it.
You're gonna insult the poor guy with $1.
You're free, Morgan. You're free, okay?
But
There it is.
anyway, you savages. No, but a lot of your death and black metal bands do get a strong influence from the romantic period of classical music, which is pretty cool. I mean, which lets people know, or should let people know, these are not just a bunch of wild ass animals going off on their instruments. No, they actually know how to play.
Right, exactly.
You know, more so better than what would be considered good musicianship from those glam bands in the 80s.
Well,
That's-
in the 80s, they were just signing bands left and right. You know, if you could do your hair up and play a
and
couple
play a
good riffs,
30-minute guitar
right.
solo,
Right.
you know.
That's
Who cares if your lyrics sucked?
That's a common misconception with metal. Is everybody thinks they're just hitting random notes and random beats.
Like
you
it's
know,
just noise, but it's,
Right.
it's actually some of the most,
yeah.
It's very complex.
Yeah.
music
Right.
that there is.
Yeah.
And one
Even
more
if you go back in the days of Sabbath, that stuff that Iommi was coming up with, that wasn't some, easy, first chair guitar playing.
Right.
No, and that kind of riff and notation is still being used today.
Oh, absolutely.
40 fucking years later, you got to give it to that old guy.
I mean, if you're a musician, you got to go back and look. You have to keep looking back at who did it, and because someone was the first guy to do that, and then whoever took something off of that, back in the day with all these blues guitarists, that's what Black Sabbath listened to, so.
Yeah, they were a blues band initially, and then they found out that, blues ain't gonna get us a sandwich, let alone a full pint of beer to divide between the four of us. Maybe we should do something that's gonna make some money, and of course, it became that which we now call
The
heavy
Black
metal.
Sabbath,
And hey, thank God for them for doing
Thank
that.
God for that.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, it's all kind of just interconnected. I mean, when you really think about it, I mean, all music is based on the same stuff.
Mhm,
So,
right.
I mean,
What is your recording process like?
Well, first off,
Hey man, we ask real questions here. We don't fuck
wow,
around.
you're not fucking around, man. Putting us on the spot and shit. No.
Gotta get
My
used to
job.
it, man.
You have 3 hours here. You come up with something.
there's no method, just a lot of madness.
You just got to make sure that you know your stuff before you go into the recording room.
Oh, God,
There you
yes.
go.
Right.
That's it. That's it.
Otherwise, it's gonna take hours and hours, and then you're gonna.
And who's got
spend-
that money?
Right.
you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember I was watching the video "Day in the Life" of Metallica, and I'm sorry, I love them cats, but a year and a half to record a fucking album. And wait a minute, listening to James during the interview, it was mostly Lars.
Yeah.
Because James says, he gets up, he's out of bed and out of the place by 5 o'clock in the morning, in the studio by 6, maybe 6:30, and starts working right then, recording, overlaying and overlapping all this stuff. So like 2 days, all of the rhythm guitar stuff is done. Lars comes in. Okay, first he's got to get a rub down, then he's got to get something to eat, then he's got
to set up his drums. Just,
and then
gotta
the
drop
sound
a
check
juice
has to be, and then he's got to go like take a shit, and then he's got to go get something to drink and relax,
and then he's got to sue somebody.
Amen.
and Zen Tai Chi meditation. Okay, now I'm going to play drums. Okay, you got here at 7 o'clock, and It's now $315. Okay, way to go. We're only spending $1,000 an hour for this shit.
I feel like watching something like that would make me have a little bit less respect for them.
Well, it did in a way. It's like,
I'd be watching that
You
going, what's the point of
bastard.
filming this? You're not making an album most of the time. What are you doing with your life?
I'm like, you bastards. It must be nice to, have such large fat pockets that,
just because they're Metallica, they can do whatever they want.
But then what saved
nice.
it was James says how he does things and how Jason goes in and does stuff, and poor Kirk. It's like okay, that solo was nice. Okay, now do it again on this guitar. All right, do it again and again. And he played the same guitar solo. I'll give it to Bob Rock. He made that motherfucker work. Yeah. And that's the thing of having a good studio person.
That's definitely a big part of it.
Any studio cats you want to give a shout out to that you actually like?
Oh, well, you know what? the last guy who worked on our recordings, I don't know his last name. Marianne.
Oh, no.
Well, I think his first name will do. I don't see too many cats have that
it's
name.
like Marianne Ajacek or something.
What studio does he work out of?
No, he came to our room that we recorded in. Yeah.
Oh, cool. So we're hearing raw sound then from you cats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's he's really good at what he does. He's a very busy man. He's in like 4 or 5 bands, and he works. He has his own. He works at a studio, and he does his own stuff on the side. So,
It's always nice to have somebody that's in a band when you're recording that understands where you're coming from as a
Yeah.
musician, rather than somebody that you're paying to sit behind a board and just tweak your sound.
Yeah, that
Not
sounds
know what
good.
you're talking about half the time.
I'm going to turn the bass up here a little bit.
yeah, exactly.
Why are you going to turn the bass up? Well, it'll sound more rich that way. Do you even know what you're doing?
Have you ever?
That's
picked
another
up an
problem with a
instrument?
lot of producers. Like, none of them know absolutely anything about the actual playing process and the writing process of the song. And then they'll try and make it their song and tell you no, don't play this.
Hell
play
yeah.
this instead. And it's so demeaning to the band.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, unfortunately, here in Chicago, in the 6 years that I've been playing, I've come across so many fucking producers and booking people, and the way I catch producers in a lie is, it's like, if we do this, this, and this, and they're just rambling on with so much conviction behind their shit, I put an instrument in their hand. Okay, well, give me an idea what you're talking about. Oh, I don't actually play.
Yeah.
I have never met a producer that couldn't play. And if I ever came across one that couldn't play, well, you're not recording my shit.
Yeah.
It's like having a mechanic work on your car that can't drive.
Exactly.
That's a good analogy.
We're going to go ahead and run into a break here. We're going to crank some sounds by these cats. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the Chicago music scene and see if we can get some fun, interesting epitaphs from these individuals about, and I'm sure you got some. I played in the city. I know they're out there, so I know you got some also. We're going to come back with District 22 here on A Piece of Metal. All right, we are back. You are listening to District 22 here on A Piece of Mail, and I gotta say that was some cool shit.
Thank you very much.
I mean, where was that recorded at?
That was recorded in our practice space, man, at the old chocolate factory over by Cicero and Augusta.
That was some cool shit.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to spend a large amount of ridiculous money to have, a pretty good recording.
As long as you have someone there who knows what they're doing.
Right. Yeah, because like I was saying with the Metallica thing, they use like, how many tracks did you guys record with?
3.
3 tracks. Yeah. And that's how it was always done back in the old days, well up until like the early 80s, because... Well, 3 was all you needed, meat and potatoes and, maybe a drink. And then it's like, well, let's add a few more tracks to it. Okay.
What are all these meat and potato references?
Because it's the best way to show the simplicity of the goodness of nature. That was my pretentious moment.
I know I asked you earlier, but who was doing the backing
Did it again.
vocals on that?
Oh, that was me, the bassist Seamus.
And you said that the vocalist is 17?
No, the drummer is 17.
Drummer's 17.
Yeah. So
he
was 16 when
he was 15. We call him 15 because we met when he was 15 years old, and he wasn't even that good, As soon as we've only been a band since last summer, and in the amount of time that he took after he got his double bass pedal, like a year after that, that's what you hear now, and it's just kind of blows you away,
So
17-year-old kid.
You guys have been together. I know Tony wanted to go into it. So how many shows have you guys played in the past year?
We've played 5 shows altogether.
Right.
Where have you played that? Or
since October.
We our first show was at Reggie's Rock House right over there on State Street.
Damn, that is cool.
Yeah. But our second show, there's this new place that's playing a lot of bands in Stager. It's called Another Hole in the Wall. We did a West Memphis 3 benefit show over there.
When did you do that? I did a West Memphis 3 show out there.
In December?
Yeah.
With Mushroom Head?
Did you guys play together and not know it?
Wow.
Did you do it Friday or we did Saturday?
Oh, okay.
We were the first band on Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
What was your band at the time, Tony?
Of Dark Matter.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember.
That's probably where I heard the name from before.
Crazy.
Oh man,
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Small world.
I'm finding that more and more the people in this industry know all the other people that I know in this industry,
Well, like I said, there's a lot of like juicehead shysters and jackasses that claim to I can do this and they can't shovel shit off the sidewalk. But I did like the stage out at Stager. I did not like how I don't give a fuck. I'll say it. I didn't like how that whole event was run.
Yeah.
That was some straight up horse ass with that. It's like, okay, who's going?
Especially the second day, they had a lot of problems with that too. The first day ran a little bit smoother, but what was the band that they wouldn't let them play? They had one.
Yeah,
band.
the band that paid. Did you guys pay to?
We paid up the ass, to be honest.
Yeah.
See,
That's bullshit. The Metro pulls the same shit that you have to pay a certain amount of money to play there, and then you have to sell off these goddamn tickets that are. How are you supposed to fill the Metro of like 200, 300 tickets?
You have to buy the tickets too. Whatever you sell, whatever you get for them, that's just
you're basically
money
eating your money at these events,
and they're not going to give you shit from the bar.
We got to play with a big name band like Mushroom Head, which was great. We got to meet the guys too, but
I take it back. We played. Was it? Yeah, we played. No, we played Saturday. We played Saturday
with Michael Graves.
Yeah. Now we didn't pay. But then we were the first band on stage.
Right. That's how they did it.
And I was told that, we was expecting like somewhat of a crowd, but it was rainy and shitty that day. And we pretty much played for all the other bands and, it was a cool set and we had fun. And
did you guys go on early? Like what time were you guys?
We were the first band up.
So what time did it start? Like 3 or something?
Oh, we were supposed to go on at 3. We wound up going on at like 4:30, almost 5.
Oh, okay. Right.
You play at this time. You'll go on 2 hours later. Right. What?
And see,
what happened to us on the last show?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, with these people that run these shows, they're a cool way to meet bands. Like I said, not even realizing I was like jamming with you cats, but I didn't like the way it was run. It was run so unprofessionally, and my biggest question was, later on going to another show about the West Memphis 3 and how that came about, but I wanted to know, where's this money going and who is it going to? Is it going for their further legal defense?
Paying for the venue.
Yeah. It was supposed to be for their legal defense.
But where did the money really go? Because there was like, what, 10 bands, $300 a pop? I mean, 3, 6, 9, 12, 4. I mean, come on now. That was a lot of fucking money.
And that venue is still, you know, they're still having all those. You know, you got to pay like a couple $100 to be on this. You know, they do that. You know,
And they overbook so many.
Oh yeah,
bands all
they
the
book like
time.
15 bands at a time. Like, how are you
The first time that we played there was only 7 bands, and we played main stage like no problem, and we didn't even have to pay to play. And then after that, they
the show
started
that I
doing the
came
second. No, we played longer before that.
No, I'm saying the show that I came to. You guys were on that shitty second.
Oh
stage.
yeah, we were on the second stage that other time, and we had to pay for that because that was the one that we did with Taproot.
Right.
See, I'm not down with that, making bands pay. That shit is like so uncool. And come to find out, you know, because I know some bands on Facebook and on MySpace that I've gotten to meet and know. The band that we was talking about last week, you know, we was doing our Women of Metal show, Gates of Babylon. I told them about stuff like that, and they're like, really? That's what takes place down there? And I'm like, damn, is Chicago the only city that does this shit?
Probably. It's all about money up
It
here,
is
man.
because they know that the people will pay for it. You know,
Wait, another hole in the wall. Is that in the city or is that?
it's in the
state
state
of
of
Illinois.
It's the suburbs outside the city.
Yeah, right there between
by,
Illinois and Indiana.
Yeah, it's by like Chicago Heights and Crete and all that down there.
I mean, if you're not really looking, you will pass it because when we had to play it down there, we passed it 3 times.
Well, that's
It's in
how,
the 200.
Yeah, you
it's
had
down by
to
like
look.
203rd and Ashland or something like that.
Union. Yeah.
That's how
there
that
you
one
go.
out in South Barrington is. The roadhouse.
Penny Road?
Penny Road.
Penny Road
Penny
Pub.
Road is
Yeah,
just like that
that's
too.
another pain. Well,
You know, you
like
go
I said,
down that road and it's like the only thing on the corner, but you have to drive forever in order
I
to
know.
find it. It's in the middle of nowhere.
And if you drive past it, it is a bitch and a half and 3
get
quarters
back.
to get back on. At least with Penny Road Pub, I played there a few times, and we played the upstairs and the downstairs, and at least they didn't charge us. You know, they were kind of a little stingy with the drinks, but that was because it depends on who was running it that night.
Were you guys playing with what kind of bands? were you
We
playing
played
with?
with Hemi, Bouchon, and then we took the drummer from Bouchon and brought him in our band. Who else?
Get fucked.
Oh, well, shit. You know, he wanted to roll with us. Things happen. We played with a nice little plethora of bands. We played with this one young little punky-oriented band. I can't remember their name, and forgive me, guys, for not remembering your name. But yeah, I actually had fun out at Penny Road Pub. You know, it was just kind of hard to get people to come out there because all the people we know here in Chicago.
That's a drive for them to go.
Right.
all the way.
Yeah, and like, you know, you get like these people who's like, oh, that's not too much of a drive. It's only a 40-minute drive. Hey, look, lady, it's a 40-minute drive on a weeknight when people got to get up and go to work the next day is some shit. I'm sorry.
yeah, that's another problem too. Chicago doesn't have a lot of venues where they'll just pick up whatever
They
bands.
do, but they're
Exactly.
right. Exactly.
They're
so
very selective.
Exactly.
And shitty with the bands. Like,
Yeah.
one of the things I wanted to start doing with bands and using this radio station as the vehicle catapult was just rent out like a warehouse or something, an empty warehouse, or you know, a one of those, like, you know, banquet rooms at a hotel or something, and just have the shows there.
Yeah.
And then you can have the shows on Friday and Saturday nights when you know people will come out, and you just charge, you know, according for the room, maybe a little bit for some profit.
Well, I'm sure there's probably, you know, like in the warehouse district or something. I'm sure it's possible, especially because there's no residential people around there to bitch about it.
Exactly. So you can make as much noise and play as loud, and if someone passes out outside, okay, fine. The rats will take care of them. But it's this whole thing, and I wanted
his face. What?
and I wanted to talk about this on the show, and I'm glad I have a band to talk about this. And if anybody, venue owners, get offended, kiss my black ass. What do you think about, you know, the live music scene in Chicago? I'll tell you what I think about it, but I want to hear it from you.
Well, me personally, you know, even when I was, you know, like 6 years ago, just a little bit younger, I used to go out to the shows no matter who was playing, you know, just to go see a show. And now it's like, if you don't promote the shit out of your music and if you don't promote the shit out of your show, then you might not make that big a draw because people just aren't going out to shows.
Yeah, well, it's a double-edged sword, and I say it's the fault of the other two sides. The venue owners don't want to give any kind of assistance to local acts.
Right.
That's first.
Yeah.
And then people are kind of shitty. They won't go out and see a local band. Now, I'm a little bit older than, well, fuck it, I'm the oldest person in this room. But back in the early 80s, the Metro had, $5 shows. And
Wow.
yeah, and at that time there was this radio station Z Rock that played all the hardcore metal stuff that you couldn't hear anywhere else. Okay, and that Z Rock later on became the Zone, and just station management changed over. But anyway, the deal was, what was Z Rock like? 106 or 103 something?
94.7 was the Zone. Yeah.
Okay, 94.7. Yeah. They would have 94-cent shows. So, and there would be some cool bands playing, and the place was always packed. Why? Because it was 94 fucking cents.
All right, hell yeah.
And people had fun. And
doing a Friday night.
the original booking person, I don't know if he was the owner or the original booking person, but God rest his soul. You gave him a tape. It may take him a couple of months to get back in touch with you, but he gave you a call and he put you on the stage. He just had to find a band that you would gel with best. A band that had a following. Now it's, okay, he could have the current people there, and this may be ruining my chances of ever possibly getting to play there, but I don't care. The truth must be brought out. They could have the fucking Sex Pistols playing there. It's like, hey, we heard you got 2 opening spots. We want one of those openers. Oh, how many people can you bring in? Okay, the Sex Pistols are playing.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be people standing outside. Well, how many people can you bring in?
Nope.
Well, even if I could bring in anybody, it's not going to make a difference. They're not going to get in anyway. Yeah. You got the Sex Pistols on your stage. Can't you just help us out and give us a spot? Well, if you can bring me 100 people, I'm going to put you on and this is a little so-called deal, their assistants. Well, I'll give you Tuesday night. If you can bring me 100 people on a Tuesday night, I'll give you guys a Thursday, and then I'll give you a Saturday. Wow,
you're supposed to get 100
how the elbow
people on
room
Tuesday
is.
night. Yeah,
Right.
I'm gonna bring 100 people in here on a Tuesday night.
Depending on what age group, you got people going to school.
Yeah,
depending
that too.
on what time.
People working.
There's a lot of venues in Chicago that are only 21 plus too.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
and a lot of them they don't even. You book a metal band with a punk band and a jam band. Like what?
Yeah.
The hell is that?
Yeah, it's impossible because you get into this, you go into the show, and then like we played with a bunch of metal bands, and we're not really like death metal. You know what I mean? Like we're not that hard, and you just like it's a turn off. Like the crowd is turned off by you. They don't want to listen to you. They want to hear
because they expect
Yeah, they have a certain standard of what they paid to come and see.
Exactly.
And like I don't know. That's been one of our problems as a band.
Well,
How do you guys usually book?
we have a booking. We go through Red Star Entertainment Booking and Touring. If anyone wants to check them out, you can go on our Facebook, and we got their links all over our page. It's run by a woman named Dina D'Amato. She books a lot of our shows, and she has a lot of people working for her. We talk to random booking agents, or we'll talk to send emails out to the venues themselves. Just getting
are
your
you
name out there.
paying for her booking services?
Well, we don't. Well, yeah.
She just, we pay her, a fair amount.
She gets
We pay her a
of
percentage.
what we make. We give her a percentage.
But she does have bands that pay her monthly for to get like more service than.
Yeah, and not just her, because I know her personally. Not just her, but like a few other booking people I've come across that charge the monthly service thing. And my question to all of them was, which is why I didn't go with any of them, what are you going to do for this amount of money per month? And then you're still taking a percentage. Because I had talked to some legitimate, actual licensed booking agencies and talent booking agencies, and all of them said the same thing. It's like, hey, I heard your CD, sounds pretty kick-ass, but dude, until you can pull 200 people, it's not even worth the phone call. And like, at first it pissed me off, but then I thought about it. Legitimately, as a business, they're not going to make any money off 25 and 50 people.
Right.
So it's like, okay, I have a staff I have to pay. All right, okay, I understand that. And we're trying to push to get bands signed because that's where they make their real money. We book you for a while, we get the 10%, of your earnings from the show. But where we make our real money is when we get you signed and that label takes you off of our hands. A label rep is not going to come out and see you, for 25, 30 people.
Right.
Which this is the music business. And it took a little while in growing up to kind of come to that realization. But the problem is that there are so many bands out here, so many bands that have a dream, have a goal. I don't even say dream anymore. I say goal. Because, a dream is like some starry-eyed little child,
Goals are dreams with deadlines.
Yeah, exactly. I want to fly like Superman. Okay, that's a dream. I want to headline for Metallica. That's a goal.
Yeah.
And you get to a point where you're headlining for Metallica, well, then the world is pretty much your oyster after that. But you have so many foul, dishonest people that take advantage of that. And there's a lot of them in this city, which pisses me off. So,
hey man, I've come to the conclusion that no matter where you go, the majority of people, not just people doing business, but that's just how people are,
Yeah, and that's the uncool thing. And it's, worse in, I used to think it was like in the rock and metal scene, but coming from talking to cats that are in hip hop and R&B and funk and soul, it's the same thing there. It's just associated with that particular genre of music. You got dirty, underhanded people doing this shit.
What's the goal for District 22?
To get our music heard by as many people as possible. I just want people to hear our music, and growing up, everyone had their CDs that they listened to if they were having a bad day, or if they were, you're going, you're trying to get pumped up for something,
Stuff that you can relate to.
I just want my music to be able to affect someone's life in some way, like it's kind of a lot to ask for, yeah, but
not really.
If you're passionate about what you do and you do it well, eventually it's gonna pay off. I just want people to hear my music. And
so, do you see your guys mostly as being like a self-produced band and going to the people to like put it out there, or is there a specific label that you eventually want to work with as your career furthers?
No, we don't have any sort of.
We're just trying to get our music out there at this point. Like I said, we've only been a band for not even a year, and we're just trying.
We're very young. Like we don't have that much experience.
This is most of our first band.
Yeah. So I mean, we're still establishing our chemistry and working out the kinks and that kind of stuff.
But my goal as a musician, as an artist, is to just get my music heard and be recognized.
That's not too much to ask for. And the best way to get your music heard, of course, is to get out there and play, and you get your sound out there. We're going to go ahead and knock down another break. We're going to come back, listen to some more music, and talk some more with District 22. And we're going to speak more about this, fucked up music scene that's going to be revolutionized here in the city. And I'm going to lead the revolution. And there will be blood spilled.
Well, I'll be a part of that.
Damn, Skippy. All right, you listening to A Piece of Metal? Come back.
Shine.
right, and now we are back here at A Piece of Metal. We are talking with District 22. Yes, I did say all right now. Anybody got a problem with that? And you work here. You don't matter.
Fight.
Oh, I see.
You got something you wanted to?
Yeah. I just want to, take some time out real quick to promote our next show. It's going to be at Live 59 out in Plainfield. The girl who booked it, Samantha Guns. She's, to my understanding, this will be her last show at Live 59. But she's. We were talking about booking agents over the break, and she's actually, done her. She actually. It's like she wants to help other bands out.
Yeah, give her props. Give her name out. I don't care. Do it.
Like I said, Samantha Guns. Our show is it's June 18th. This June 18th, and it's a big plethora of bands. There's like 10 bands playing. There's gonna be a barbecue. There's gonna be bags tournaments. Just a bunch of summer shit. Like I said, it's in Live 59 out in Plainfield. Tickets are $6 opposed to $10 at the door. So if anyone likes what they heard, what you just heard right now, that was our song called Dark Horse. You heard a couple of our others, Wise Man and Torn From Within before. So if you like what you hear, man, get at us on Facebook at District 22 Music and message us, and we can get you a ticket for cheaper.
Yeah, if you want to look up the event, is on Facebook. It's Summer Kickoff.
Yeah, Summer Rock Kickoff Show. We got it posted all over our shit. It's all over Facebook. We're on, and if you want to check out our music, we're on Reverb Nation at District 22 Music. We got a YouTube, we got a Twitter, and other random blog shit.
Yeah, MySpace. It's all /District 22 Music. So any website you go to, whether it's Facebook or MySpace or Reverb Nation, it's all, the .com and then /District 22 Music.
Awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
I do have a question before we go on from one of our listeners, Adam. And he wants to know from our side, our perspective from what we think happens, how the inner workings of the venue scene works.
Well,
I'll let you guys. I'll tell mine later, but I'll let you guys go first.
It's complicated, right?
The inner workings is everybody's out to get paid. Basically, it's becoming less and less about the actual music and trying to get the music out there, and it's
trying to help the bands.
It's more about money, and everybody everybody is just trying to get paid.
Yeah, I don't want to get all political or anything, but it's very similar to like healthcare. Like it's not actually about keeping you healthy; it's about charging you money to keep you alive.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not actually about getting music out there. It's exploiting you pretty much to make a buck. Using your talent to get them ahead.
But at the same time, we have to succumb to these people because we want to play our shows and we want to get our music out there.
Right, yeah. It's definitely, you're selling your soul.
Well, I'm forming a rebel alliance, and we are going against this.
Viva la revolution!
Hold us down anymore. You hear that, Lord Vader? You will not control us anymore. Oh, that's right. He's dead. But no, you just spoke the truth. And like I said, that's one of the things I wanted to talk about on this show because I have a personal beef with the venue and how things are just handled here in my beloved city. Yes, there are more people out, for money, which is uncool. Also out in Plainfield, the Chicago Women of Metal are going to be doing...
Which I am a part of.
Which, Danielle is a part of here. Is going to have their boobs band and beer, situation. That we
couple good bands on that bill too.
And we're going to be there.
Great.
Well, unfortunately, Morgan won't be with us, but she'll be with us in spirit.
And she's a woman of metal. How the hell are you gonna?
Well, wait. I don't go to every event they do. Don't assume I'm not going to be here. My commitment is to this.
I know that, but I'm just saying with that one, that's the July.
Is that the one with the Odin?
July 9th. I'm not there.
Yeah, July 9th. Whoever's playing July 9th. But me and Dennis are gonna, be there broadcasting and
I know.
jamming and rocking.
I'm gonna miss you guys so much that day.
We're gonna do some more. We're gonna do some more live hookups.
But for the follow-up question though, what do you think has changed? Like back in, I know the early '90s and the '80s, I know that a lot more people were receptive to helping out the local people to try to get up there. Why do you think that this industry has changed so much that you guys are struggling now?
One word: greed.
Greed. Yeah. Look at the world.
I would say the internet. But that's just me.
Yeah,
well,
MySpace.
They should have helped.
Everybody's out to get their piece.
But that's the whole. I don't know. I don't want to.
You got talent.
You go ahead and say it, dude. You can say it.
No, it's not even. It's just I'd be ranting for about half an hour. So.
Go ahead. We got some hours.
But,
Get closer to the mic.
Sorry.
For the one that didn't want to say anything
But I mean,
tonight.
like, to ask, I mean, like we in 19. I was born in '87. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't. I wasn't on the music scene in the '80s or the '90s. You know, we're just coming out now in like 2010. So.
Yeah.
Well, it's 2011 now, but we got together in 2010.
Yeah.
But I mean, so I don't really know. I can't,
You
give
can
any
speak
sort
to
of.
your
I can't.
current-
I can speak from my current experience, but
That's-
I can't really give you any
that's
sort
good.
of. I can't really testify as to what it was like in the 80s or the 90s because I honestly didn't experience it.
You are pleading the fifth.
Well, I can say that in the 80s, it was pretty cool. And somewhat through the 90s, it was actually pretty cool. It was still pretty much the same thing. Where it happened was certain people started taking over venues. And those people are trying to make a name for themselves as the booking person of this place. And it became more about the money, how many people can you bring in. But at the same point, bands can't bring in anyone if they don't have any notoriety. And the way you got notoriety was you opened for a band that had some notoriety.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know, it was, one pulling the other one up. But these booking people at these venues, well, I want you to bring in such and such people. Yeah, I mean, it's almost, and I use the phrase loosely, but it's the best way to describe it, very Nazi-like how they do it. Gestapo says if you bring in 100 people, we'll give you a Saturday afternoon.
It's almost like the saying, the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. It's almost the same with bands. Like,
Yeah.
the more popular they are, the more popular they're going to get because they already have that following. And
No
the ones
matter
that,
no matter the amount of talent that there is.
right. And then the ones that can't get a following, they're stuck with not getting their name out because no one wants to put them
Right.
on.
It's like a feedback loop. The more notoriety you get, the more you're just gonna keep growing.
Yeah, and that's why bands struggle real hard to get on. Now, Chicago's real good with a lot of the festivals, and providing if you're able to get your name on that list within a certain time frame, you can pretty much get up on their stage. I did Rib Fest one time out in Naperville. That was actually pretty
Oh yeah, that's a big
Did you do
thing
it
out
before
there.
or after you ate all those ribs?
Oh man,
between.
both. I chugged out on some ribs, but what was cool was
That's
we
real
were
big out there
playing
in Naperville.
with this band. It was like a little battle of the bands thing, and it was us and the band that actually won, and it was a real close call. But the winning band would open for Loretta Lynn, who was doing the show the next night. And that was the band I was in, Dragonfly Red. And you know what? Me and the Blaze player, we kind of understood that, okay, we're a little too hard, heavy, and loud to open for Loretta Lynn.
Don't you hate when that happens? They book you with
I
a band that you don't even sound close to.
Yes,
I know.
Yes, I do hate when that happens.
And the
Band,
blues,
like we
they were
said.
like a funky driving blues band, and
With a metal band opening up for him. How does that?
and
how does
then
that-
they won
Came
the
from the
spot
same
to
shit.
open
Keeping
for
you down, man.
Loretta Lynn, which was cool. We had no animosity or hatred towards them. It's like, okay, realistically speaking, yeah, the judges may like us, but we are not going to open for Loretta Lynn. We did get find out that we opened for Ted Nugent though. We didn't get to see him,
Nice.
but Ted was playing that night, so it's like okay, and we had a nice little crowd of people.
Didn't they have was it Heart out there? I'm not.
Yeah.
Oh no, no, they weren't playing on not at that particular show. But no, it was getting into the festivals. Like I said, if you can get your CD to like the promoter of that fest, it's usually first come first serve because there's so many bands trying to get up there, and that's cool. But the venues like Metro, Double Door, and Elbow Room, I've actually had some good luck with. Shout out and props to Brian Bender.
Debonair was actually a fun place to play. We played there before.
And that spots like that, but you need more spots to actually help you out. And Chicago, unfortunately, is not a city that's helping out the band. And the way they can change that is not only the bands, but the people. I mean, the people that go out have to start putting their foot. That's why I love the Chicago Women of Metal.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a bunch of, like.
That's really a great thing.
Gals coming up to you. It's like, hey, we got some bands you gonna put on your stage.
Yeah.
Well, how much gonna do that? We got some bands you're gonna put in your fucking stage, all right?
And they're out and they promote this shit too, you know.
And they get out and promote, and the band should promote.
Yeah.
And now a lot of bands, I'm not saying all of them, but there are a lot of bands out there that are as lazy as turtles with broken legs.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, dude, you gotta
What do you
get out.
expect? What do you expect?
You gotta get out there and like pump this shit. You gotta do it. You gotta become a whore out there selling it. Do it, man. Motley Crue said their very first show was at the Roxy. Their very first show. Now, granted, you're talking about, the three guys like 18 years old with Mick Mars being what, 28?
Yeah.
Their first show was sold out. That's why you had, managers and booking agents trying to jump in front. It's like, what? This is their first show and there's 300 fucking people in there? For the whole entire month, all they did was just run around, chasing people down, putting flyers in their hands, putting flyers up on. That's the way you have
gotta
to do
go out and do work, man.
Right, you gotta.
Okay.
How do you expect to get your name out there if you don't put your name out
Right.
there?
Do you guys have a
Sometimes it
street
even-
team?
What?
I'm sorry to interrupt.
We
Go
do
for it.
not. We do not have a street team.
I was just gonna say that's one of the bigger things that some people just feel uncomfortable invading other people's spaces to give them flyers, but it's something you got to go through.
Again,
You
it goes
wanna-
back to the
I'd
people
rather-
of Chicago. Like we can hand out those flyers, but not as many of them are
It's
going
like-
to be as interested as
It's
they
like Mitch
used to back
Hedberg said,
then.
man. Mitch Hedberg.
This is true.
He said, what was that, Mitch Hedberg? All right, I'm going to go pass out flyers. It's like saying, here, you throw this out.
Well, also too with the flyers, and here's the jacked up thing about it, and I learned this with my other two bands. For every 100 flyers you put out, and I do mean for every 100 flyers you put out, one person is going to keep it and actually come to the show.
Right.
So
Sounds right.
you put out 1,500 flyers, 15 people will actually come out, and so on and so forth. Now, also, too, a lot of those flyers are going to be hitting the ground, and depending on what kind of artwork or graphics or how you hook your flyer up, somebody's going, what the fuck is this? And it's like, okay, that's another person. But you have to get out and do the work. Like
Just go to shows and hand out demos
right
for free.
after the show is over of a band that's close to your music.
Right.
If you're a death metal band, you're not going to be playing handing out your shit to an alternative band sounding like the Pixies, and vice versa. But no, it's the work has to be done. The Chicago music scene is wide open and can be turned around, and I mean seriously flipped over like.
And there's a lot
pancake.
of metal bands making a lot of noise in the Chicago music scene
And-
too.
But to say that every venue in Chicago is going to screw you over is not true.
No,
There
that's
are
true.
some good ones out there, You just
What's been
gotta-
your favorite place to play then? That's treated you guys right.
I really like myself. I like Live 59. That's
Oh, yeah, for sure.
the way that place is run. They do all ages shows, and if you do your job and you go out there and you promote, then they give you they see the work that you do and they give you a good slot. And if you do a good show, they're just they have you back. They're
It's a pretty nice venue too.
yeah, it's a nice venue. There's a lot of people with good sound.
Right.
And they just the way they go about it. I don't feel like I'm talking to someone who's trying to get in. I hate to say it like this, but get in my pockets.
Hey, do you guys remember the original JT Music?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
went from RT guitars to JT Music to Sound Lab. I was just talking to somebody about that earlier today.
And he's still doing stuff, right?
What? No, I mean, the last thing I heard about him was he bought the Sound Lab and then they had to shut it down.
No, he's if you go to jtmusicinc.com, I believe he's got different venues up. He does
They used to play O'Malley's Bar a lot.
yeah. I think they still do.
I never really liked that place.
He's
I played
doing
O'Malley's a couple of times.
He's been doing the Box Social, which is right next door to Congress Theater. And he's, I think, the Cordova out in Morris, Illinois. He's been booking shows out there.
We're going to go to another break, and we're going to come back with District 22 here on A Piece of Metal. And we're getting into a very interesting discussion about the Chicago music scene. And just want to close on a quick point that, what's your name? Andrew made, that not all the venues in Chicago and in the Illinois area are shady, fuck boxes. No, there are some cool ones out there. And just wanted to make that clear. But come back and listen to us on A Piece of Metal and show some love to District 22.
Yeah.
That was cool. We are back here at A Piece of Metal, rocking with District 22.
That's right.
And we were having some pretty deep discussion about the Chicago music and metal scene. And since we have a band that's currently playing, I thought it was kind of cool that, when Dennis first told me about the band, it's like, that name is hidden in my head. And as we discussed earlier, we actually did a show in the same place, and not even realizing it, but it was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, small world.
But as we were talking about, before we left, not every venue in Chicago is jacked up, but at the same time, it's a combination of venues, the people. People, you got to go out and support. Go out and support your local bands. I know things are a little tight right now, but if you want to see your bands succeed and prosper, you got to go help them out. Now, go ahead.
Spending, $10-15 to go see, 3 or 4 bands that are actually good at what they do. It's not that much money, It's something.
You spend that on beer.
Right, exactly. It's something fun to do. Most of the time, you get drunk anyways. And,
what's worse, mosquitoes?
Why we up? Who are we looking at?
Oh, yeah.
Joe made a boo-boo.
I'm doing you guys' fan page, and I'm putting all the Ustream videos in there. Well, it still comes up with that ad in the very beginning.
Oh well.
Sorry, guys.
God, long live commercials. But yeah, it's just one of those things. And the third element is, yes, the bands. The bands have to get out and promote, and not this well, I handed out like a couple of hundred flyers. Okay, that means 2 people are going to come out to your show based on those flyers. I mean, you have to really, work it.
But honestly, the internet has opened up an entire different source of advertisement, and it's much easier to use social networks to get in touch with people who are going to come out to your shows.
Exactly.
But at the same time, you still, that's the people that are going to come out to your shows. You
want to get
you
more
want to
people.
be making more and more noise, and the only way to do that is to get people to hear your music.
And it's kind of hard, and like you just said, you ask them about 10 or $15 max, and that's not a lot of money, even in this.
It costs $10 to go see a movie. I mean, what would you rather do? Go see 4 bands play for 3 hours, or go see an hour and a half movie that you're gonna
more than likely probably aren't gonna like.
Right.
That is one thing I can say about Another Hole in the Wall and Stager. Even though they do book a lot of bands, they don't charge that much for you to see a wide variety of bands.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you're paying at the door sometimes for like bigger name shows. It's like 15 at the door, 12 in advance, but you're getting like 10 to 15 bands on top of the main band that you're there to see.
Exactly.
And it's not a bad price.
And that's the whole thing of just supporting the local acts. And the internet, the cool thing about the internet, you can reach a wide range of people, but the internet is just like handing out the flyers. I strongly suggest doing both of them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, even with the internet, if you hit up 100 people on the internet, okay, maybe 5 will come out to the show. So that means you have to work that internet. And one of the problems I had with the guitar player when I had the band Dragonfly Red, okay, we had a MySpace page, and he pretty much was the curator of the damn page. And
Was he a drummer?
No, he was a guitar player.
What's that supposed to mean?
I've dealt with a lot of egocentric drummers.
Well, with this cat, it was the thing of laziness. And, okay, I would ask him, hey, did you do anything on MySpace? No, man, I was tired when I got home. Okay, but you got home at 5 o'clock, and, and I said, I checked the MySpace page. We had the MySpace page up for 3 years. And after 3 years, we had, and I still remember this to this day, 275 friends, and each song had something like 40 or 50 hits. Our bass player could even confirm that. I took over the page, and in a couple of months, it went from 200 to like 1,500. Because I got home and I worked that damn thing every day.
Yeah,
and
MySpace isn't worth shit now.
I know.
That's one of the things about MySpace, though, is you can go and add people. The only thing on Facebook that you can do is suggest it to people, and half the time they don't even see the suggestion.
Exactly. But with Facebook, if you have a lot of friends and your band had, like, you do your fan page, of course, and then that people actually like, and then you have your individual pages that draw in the people that, oh, you guys got a band, and then they go to the page, like it. But again, you have to work both of them, and it's one of those things where it's not luck, it's just persistence. And a lot of bands in Chicago lack that persistence, and it goes back to what I was saying about Metallica. People who talk about, like I was watching that, year and a half in the life of Metallica, and yes, Lars is a spoiled little rat, but you know what? This may sound kind of shitty. He earned the right to be that spoiled little rat. Okay, this band is the biggest band on the planet because of what he did. Mm-hmm. Yes, it was the music and the energy and James' lyric writing and their performance on stage, but it's his business tactics. He was very ambitious and very, go out after the throat. I mean, we got to think about it. Back when they were, when he was like 16, he goes to a guy that has his own compilation record label place and asks him, hey, talks to him, if I can get a band together, can I be on your compilation? And the guy, just talking to him. Yeah, sure, why not? The motherfucker had a spot on a compilation record and didn't even have a band yet. I mean, just the balls to go up to somebody, you know, and even ask a question, and you don't even have a band. You don't even have anything to submit to the person.
And it also goes back to like the differences between back then and now. I highly doubt that there is any record company that would say, yeah, sure, whatever, and not even have a band.
Oh, hell no. So your ambition and your business tactics have to be a little bit more savvy, but at the same time, like you just said, with the internet, you have so much avail to you. Take advantage of it.
Right, but see, then the other thing is, you know, like when the internet has become such a clusterfuck of just bullshit. It's spam, and people can't weed out the shit that is like legitimately something that they would be interested in, and you know, discount Viagra. You know, so if
which I've never used.
Okay.
That was a very conspicuous look on your face there, Tony.
Drinking lots of water. That's a
yeah.
sign of withdrawal. It's working.
The internet can be, you know, it can be a wonderful tool to, you know, it can be a wonderful resource for you, but at the same time, it can be totally perverted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It can be something that can just be detrimental to what you're actually trying to do.
Wait, like the guy in our lobby right now, right?
Right, yeah, the guy in the lobby, you know, just sitting out there looking at porn.
I'm calling you out. Please don't do that when I'm walking in the door. There's a time and place to jerk it. It's not here.
And it's not like he's like in the back by himself. No, he's on the first computer.
You know what though? I'd rather he be at the first computer, because then, like, if he was in the back, secluded,
then you know that he's not.
Yeah.
Please come to PC here, tap him on the shoulder, and go, "Hey, what are you doing?" No, but like going back to what you said, I think like the internet is great for exposure, but I liked street teaming the most. I don't know. There was something about going out there, handing out the flyers,
actually,
going to places and posting.
And you have
physically involved in what you're doing.
Because then you get in conversations with people that don't even know you.
Grassroots.
We gotta get back.
And then you also have people. You also have other people that, you know, aren't a part of your band at all, out there promoting your stuff because they like what you do.
And they believe in you. It's like, I want to be a part of this. I mean, think about, you know, somebody that could have been a street team for, you know, Metallica, Slayer, or, you know, any one of those bands. You can say, I helped that band get big. Mm-hmm. I'm still broke, but I helped that band get big.
But I mean, the other thing is, especially like among younger people, there's been a huge fall off of people, you know, actually going out to shows, like Jim was saying earlier. And I think a lot of that has to do with the music that's being force fed down people's throats by Seamus. Sorry, by you know, it's being forced down your throat by the radio stations and the record companies, and you know, they're throwing out this this music that is a lot of talk without really actually saying anything. It kind of lacks a little bit of substance. And if you actually really want to hear good music, you know, you have to go out and listen to good music. You know?
That's true.
And you have to keep an open mind for everything, because you never know when you're going to hear something that's actually good, you know.
Right. Like, I'll stick around, like, whenever we've done a show, just out of respect, even if the band sucked the cement out of a brick, I still... Wow.
That sounds painful. I'm sorry.
That sucks hard, dude.
I would still show love to that band. It's like, we're playing the same stage, and I'm going to go ahead and give them my ear, like, oh, Jesus, this is horrible. But
you still stand there and watch them
play. We
still
stand there and watch them. It's like, after a while, it's like, okay, it's not that bad, but it's pretty fucking bad.
And wouldn't you want them to do the same for you?
And they did. You know, it's just the whole thing of just respect amongst musicians. Because I remember there was a point where we were getting a lot of bands calling us. You know, it's like, hey, we're doing a show. We need an opening band. You know, can you? Okay. We need an opening band for this venue. It's like, sure. I mean, at one point, you know, our phones were like ringing all the time. And then something happened where the guitar player, whom I just mentioned, kind of showed his ass a little bit.
Like literally?
Literally in some cases. And the phone stopped ringing.
Nice.
And then it was like, you know, a few years later after the band broke up, we're finding out from all these other bands, yeah, man, you guys were going around talking big shit about us. That, you know, we were like leeching off it. Wait a minute.
All because they were moved.
Me and the bass player were like, we never said that. Yeah, that other dude that, you know, played guitar, like, oh, wait. We did not know he was saying that, but then he was also calling himself our leader. So of course, if you're in a band and here's someone who's proclaiming himself to be the leader is talking shit about you, well, you automatically think that
The entire band is on board.
yeah, since the leader is saying it, we're like, we didn't even know this was taking place.
Man, all that shit is just unnecessary, man. That's exhausting. Like,
And it takes more energy to put that dumb shit out than it does
to focus on yourself and do what you're doing.
And it's like, with what you were saying about, the internet. Yes, the internet is a clusterfuck of a lot of bullshit. You can go to Wikipedia for that. I mean, there's quite a few times I've gone on Wikipedia and it's like, that's not correct.
Right. That's why it's not, even a trustable source.
Not anymore.
No, not at all. Right. John F. Kennedy was the 34th Pope. What?
It's like,
you can put anything up there.
I was like, wait, what the hell? And it's not going to get corrected until somebody that knows better sees it and corrects it. But with the internet, just like I said, with flyering and what Morgan just threw down, and I'm definitely going to do that with my next project, street teams. I mean, that has become the new venue or the new means of getting your band's name out there is have a street team. Get some dedicated people that like your shit. Throw something at them. I mean, I understand, in your early stages, things are kind of hard. Throw them some dollars. Hey, if they're old enough, throw some beer at them. Pizza,
Or maybe, even not old enough. That's all right, too.
Okay, well,
You know what the coolest thing
okay.
is?
I was wrong.
What's that?
The coolest thing that I have seen a band do, like, locally, is there's this band, good friends of mine, Among the Fallen, and they made these, that like the Livestrong bracelets.
Oh, yeah,
they made
yeah.
the bracelets that said Among the Fallen.
We've got a
and what
buddies-
happened was
doesn't cost much to do
no,
that.
but like what was even better was none of them are in high school anymore. But one of their younger brothers was, and he started going to school, and he's wearing the wristband. Brings a few, and they're like, "Who is that?" And he goes, "Oh, that's my brother's band. They're really cool. Check them out." They buy these wristbands enough that they like sold out of them within like a week, and they made. I think almost 200 or something wristbands. Like everybody
After putting
wanted
out,
them.
like, 50
yeah,
bucks.
right after everybody wanted to see what was up with everybody promoting this one band, and it became like the hot merch out. Like
that shit does
Yeah.
work. With merch, if you can give away some free stuff, at your shows, that's cool. But the street team idea, and again, this does not exclude the band getting out and doing it also. You have to get out and be proactive. You have to get out and put out those flyers. You have to get out and, get that word out there. But if you got that street team, that makes it even better. I want to have a street team when I, put another project together. And I think I might even have some of the Chicago Women of Metal do that. If we're still on good terms with each other. And I take that back. We're all on good terms with each other,
Yeah, all those Chicago women,
Who did you
they're all
see,
great,
bro?
man.
None of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was another bad joke. I have utmost respect for all of those beautiful ladies. But yeah, it's not easy, but it's not so hard that it's impossible. It can be done. It just takes a little work on all sides. And then the venues, you kind of push them up against the walls like, look, I got 200 people. I want to play your place. All right. And don't you even think of saying that Tuesday or Wednesday night shit. How's about a Sunday? Okay, this place is going to give me a Friday and a Saturday night. I'm going to take my 200 people over there. All right. You got to put them in a position where, damn, I want them on my stage. If they got that many people, now granted, you're not going to have the same people every show because you have to take in consideration that the people are not going to come out every single show. Like my girlfriend at the time couldn't come out to every single show. I mean, it's like, damn, okay, I know what set you're going to play. I know what songs you're going to do. I even know what covers you're going to throw in.
where's the support?
It's like, okay, yeah, I'm going to support you from home, but that's where the street team and the footwork and, using the internet comes in. You have to get your friends to bring in more fans and then more fans and then so on and so on and so on to have a nice fun. Because once you get that first 100 people that are going to come consistently to your shows, it's pretty much a a life that's going to take on its own formation at that point.
Right. It just kind of snowballs after that.
Yeah.
It's another thing too to network with other bands because
Oh hell yes.
like around my area, a lot of the bars and everything. If you're planning on playing a show, you don't have to you pay the cover charge like $7 or whatever, but it's split between it goes to whoever band you say you're there for. That's the good thing, and then you end up playing with a bunch of people that you like or get along with, and then you bring in all your friends to come watch, and they bring their friends, and that ends up working out best.
Yeah. Networking and, just like chilling with the other bands that you're, going to be playing with. It's like, it's a thing of we have to start doing in Chicago what's done in other cities. And New York is real big on the rap and metal thing together. Rap and metal here in Chicago ain't going to happen. Because, unfortunately, here in Chicago, you had too many jackasses, as Morgan made a joke earlier. Someone wants to bring a gun. And I was talking about that in one of my earlier shows about...
Sorry.
Don't you do it no more.
Air. I was dying.
In one of the earlier shows, I was talking about the... nice and warm up in here.
Sweating like a whore in church.
Sweaty men.
But one of the things
What's
that
on your mind?
we did...
No, I think it's on the guy's mind in the lobby. I'm gonna let him deal with whatever he wants to watch.
But God, I love this show. But no, it's one of those things where it has to be like a collective whole that we have to come together. We have to, network with the bands and pretty much get those venues to a position where you have to bring us up on stage. The rap and metal thing is not going to work too well in Chicago because, like I said, you have too many guys in the rap scene that want to pull out a gun if somebody looks at them wrong. And you're talking about two very, volatile mentalities at a show. Now, granted, you got people that like rap that like metal. You got people that like metal that like rap. But you got that one jerk, and it's always that one idiot that shows up with the two hand cannons in his pocket. He didn't come there for the music. He came there to start some shit, and he usually gets it. Unfortunate, somebody else, is the one that gets hurt.
Pays the price.
Now,
Dimebag.
Exactly.
Rest in peace.
The unfortunate thing about Dimebag, I'm sorry that happened to him, but I do not want that to be used as an example to ban firearms. I am a very strong proponent of the Second Amendment right, and I do feel that everyone should have the right to bear arms to protect themselves, but there has to be some kind of structure set up to keep idiots from getting hold of it.
There's no way to control that. They put the gun bans in Chicago.
Chicago's had a gun ban since 1985, and how many people have been killed by handguns since 1985?
This year alone, even. This year,
okay.
Monstrous numbers.
Who's got their hands on them? Not the people that should.
Okay.
They're not going to be the ones that are, going to the black market to try and purchase this thing.
I know. Me and some other metalheads were saying, as far as firearms are concerned, and it's funny you hear this coming from metalheads. We all agree it should be a 30-day waiting period when you make that first application. And during that 30 days, you should take a 30-day owner's and handler's course. Because
that in a background check.
If you're going through this much time and effort and money, you're less likely to want to do something stupid to get it taken away from you.
But I want to kill someone now.
Okay, you're going to have to wait. That easy. You want to kill someone now? Get a baseball bat and have at it.
Old school.
Yeah, go the old-fashioned way.
Okay.
That's why we have mosh pits.
Yeah. Well,
get that energy out.
It's handled violence.
Exactly. And everybody in a mosh pit is, it's not every man for himself. Everybody's jacking each other in the face, it's when someone falls.
Most of the time.
Right. But
we get some idiots.
I've taken a few random blows to the head just because some dickhead behind me felt like starting some shit.
Right, but most of the time, when someone falls, the group is there to help
pick you back up.
Right.
Now that's one thing I do notice. It is consistent. The mosh pits are much more brutal and aggressive than what they were back in my day. But at least now
there's that level
still,
of respect.
There's still a level of respect. Someone falls down, pick them back up. I thought one of the coolest things I saw, and if she was a little older, I'd have proposed to her. I saw a girl get busted in the cheek, knocked on her ass, blood was coming out of her mouth. She got up, pushed the guy that knocked her down. She said, "I'm sorry." He's like, "Okay, dude," and looks at him in the face and says, real loud, I had to be about 20 feet away from her. I heard her, "Don't fucking do it again." And she got back in the pit and was like, "I'm in love."
Right.
Bravo.
I know, it was the most awesome thing. Now, me, I can't get a punch in the cheek and get back up. I'm taking my ass home. I saw a kid get his nose broken and, went in the bathroom, makeshift fixed it, got back out there. And I'm like, wow.
DJ, weren't you there with me at Gigantour when we saw that dude walking out of the pit? It was all bloody nose, and I think he had a broken arm too when Megadeth was playing.
Oh yeah.
That is some extreme
that's some brutal
shit.
stuff, man. That's
He
some
was
brutal
dripping
stuff.
blood all over the
But yet no one got killed.
Right.
What's the craziest thing you guys have seen at one of your shows?
One of our shows.
Unload, man.
Not really any crazy.
There's not a lot of crazy shit that goes on during our
plus-
shows. I mean,
Damn it.
We've only played 5 shows by now.
and another hole in the wall. I mean, I don't know if you saw that guy walking around with a walking stick,
Yes.
but I seen him over almost about to push somebody into the fucking lake over there, man. The one guy was like defenseless, and he's over there poking him with his stick. Like that's
You got jackasses there.
What about your experiences in general as far as like being in a band together? What are some of the funnier, goofier, or just whacked out shit?
And make it quick because we're winding down on time here.
Well, I mean, the fact that our drummer is 17 years old, love you, Vinny, and thinks that he's Chris Adler is one thing. But like I said, I love you, Vinny.
Big shoes to fill.
I mean, they sometimes knock on me for being gay. There's a lot of that kind of stuff, but it's all in good fun.
Actually, we're going to at some point do a show about gay and heavy metal since Rob Halford came out. Well, if you want to call it coming out, like shit, yeah, there was a big secret there. No offense, we love you, Rob. I mean, hell, you are still the metal god, but yeah, right, you coming out, okay.
And of course, there's Andrew's crack habit.
Oh yeah, apparently I have a big crack habit.
Oh yeah, he loves his crack.
I do. I'm cuckoo for crack.
Isn't that kids?
I'm not really cuckoo for crack.
Crackle
I'm really
Puffs.
not. No, I'm really not. I promise you. Clarify, that was sarcasm.
Well, we're winding down another show here at A Piece of Metal. This was actually pretty cool. Our first band here at A Piece of Metal, District 22, who turns out to be a band that I played with and just didn't remember. I'm an old man, so I'm allowed to forget things.
When was your guys' next show again?
June 18th.
Promote it up.
June 18th at Live 59, man. There's going to be tons of bands. Our good friends, our punk. They're in a punk band, the Exoskeleton. They're playing there with us. There's tons of other bands. The Flips are going to be there. I can't even tell you the whole lineup, but there's going to be like 10 or 11 great bands there. It's only $6. Come on, people.
Yeah,
come on.
they're gonna have a couple of acoustic sets. And
There's a couple of acoustic sets.
just to give you a nice little breather, take it down for a second.
And it's a big start off. Can't drink there, but there's nothing said about not being drunk. So.
Hey, the music is still good.
And where can they find your music?
Find us. Our main page is our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/District22Music. That's where we run all of our news and updates about shows and all that. If you want to listen to our music, you got to go on ReverbNation.com/District22Music or MySpace.com/District22Music.
You can find our music on Facebook too, but it's a link to the Reverb Nation page.
Right.
Okay. All right, we're going to close out another show of A Piece of Metal, and we're having fun with District 22. People, go out, check them out. Morgan,
June 18th.
Dennis, want to give some shouts out to some people quickly?
I know Adam, Nick, and Brian, and my friend Matt, who's actually home on leave from, he just got back from Korea in the Army. So I know he was listening. So, support troops.
Dennis?
And my cousin Steve actually just got married last weekend, and he told me he was listening to the show a couple of times.
Congrats!
Craziest fucking wedding ever, too, man. Let me put that out there.
Kick ass. All right.
We gotta send out a shout out to Steph Oster.
Oh, Steph Oster.
Absolutely.
That's our heavy metal sex kitten.
Cool. All right, catch us on Tuesday nights at 9 o'clock at Piece of Metal. For all those that were like tuning in to us, thank you very much for showing the love. Love, Piece of Metal to all of you.
Thank you, guys.